Well, Tom, I want to talk about Texas for a second here. That's one of the seats, Senate seats. Democrats would like to pick it up. New polling there shows that this primary fight in the GOP between Ken Paxton and John Cornyn is actually tightening up a bit. Cornyn is the incumbent. Paxton is the state attorney general, who is the challenger. Paxton is still up 5% in the latest poll, but his lead seems to be narrowing a bit. So, Tom, just give us a snapshot of what's going on in Texas.
Well, as you mentioned, I mean, and they both candidates just went through this whole Texas Democrat, the redistricting fight, right? Paxton was out in front. I'm going to charge these guys and get them dismissed from office and put them in handcuffs and all of that. And Cornyn was kind of there in Washington, like, there wasn't a lot. So he said, "Oh, we need to get the FBI involved in this." That was his big sort of power play of, to show rank and file Texas Republicans that he was just as tough as Ken Paxton. So, look, knocking off an incumbent is hard. They have advantages even within the primary system, and so John Cornyn is not going to be easy to displace. But as you can see from the polling, this is going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight. It'll be close, I think, in the end. And you might have to say Paxton is the slight favorite at this point, but that is what Democrats hope, because if they feel like that he'd be the weaker in a general election, that Paxton would be a weaker candidate in a general election setting. But the polling, again, Texas is a pretty red state, and depending on who the Democrats nominate, apparently, Colin Allred, who ran for the Senate last time around against Ted Cruz, running again this time, isn't really doing, isn't like blowing the doors off on his side either. And so this is going to be a fascinating state to watch as we head to the midterms.
Yeah, Carl, what do you make of this? This, first of all, the primary race, but also the general, which will be interesting as well.
Well, I agree with Tom that I think John Cornyn is a much stronger general election candidate in that state, and I think if the Democrats have any hope of winning it with Beto O'Rourke or Colin Allred, whoever ends up being the nominee, that person is every night saying the rosary and really hoping John Cornyn is not on the ballot. Cornyn's a popular guy there. The MAGA right has issues with him, which is why Paxton is running.
He's not as popular as you think, Carl. He's losing to Paxton.
Yeah, well, right. I'm just saying, if I'm a Democrat, that we talked about the end of the Democratic Party 5 minutes ago. Well, if they elect a senator from Texas, we'll pretend we never did that show.
Right. But so on the Democratic side, you do have Beto O'Rourke, who I guess is not in the race yet. But
I've known him a long time. I call him Francis, but okay.
I call him Beta.
I saw this new poll that has him favored 58-38 over Colin Allred in the Democratic primary.
Well, Andy, the thinking here, I mean, this is from afar, but Allred is an attractive candidate, but he had his chance, and he ran against Ted Cruz, who, to Tom's point, is not a very popular politician, and lost to him. And I think the feeling there in Democratic Party circles is Allred had his shot.
Well, hold on, Beto had his shot. I mean, he hasn't won a thing.
Well,
he lost for Senate. He lost for governor. I mean,
he won a House race some time ago.
Ran for president. He didn't get anywhere. I mean, he won a House race like years ago, and that was it. I mean, come on.
Well, I'm not criticizing.
And he did get, by the way, remember Betomania? I mean, he did get the best coverage you could possibly imagine for a candidate in a Democrat in the state of Texas.
He got the best coverage I've seen a Democratic candidate get since Kamala Harris ran for president. So I don't think the media chooses these candidates anymore.
Just one more scenario I want to run by you guys, which is Jasmine Crockett. The new redistricting actually moves her out. Her domicile's no longer within the district she represents. That's the new map that the Republicans are drawing in Texas. Opening the door, perhaps, to a Senate run for Representative Crockett. Tom, what do you think of that? That would be an unexpected consequence. High name recognition, lots of national press, and raises a lot of money, from what I understand.
Raises a lot of money, and this is a nice bookend to where we started this conversation, which is the Democratic Party has been losing voters and losing registrants over the last few years, in part, I think, because they have moved so far to the left. And here comes Jasmine Crockett. And you're right. I mean, she gets a lot of press and people like to book her on TV shows, and she says, kind of outrageous stuff. And she raises a lot of money, but she also, I'm not sure that's the best profile for running statewide in Texas or even nationally. Is that going to help the Democrats repair their brand, or is that going to keep them sort of headed in the same direction that they're in, which right now, they need a course correction.
But Carl, how much would you like to see Crockett versus Ken Paxton match up in the Senate race?
I actually want to see a bare knuckles bout between Marjorie Taylor Greene and Congresswoman Crockett. Look, these politicians. Andy, you're old enough to remember when you called someone in Washington a show horse, not a workhorse. That used to be an insult. I think it's now a compliment. Look, I'm with Tom, and he was, to my way of thinking, understating the problem. Jasmine Crockett is the kind of person that's driving people out of the Democratic Party. She's a kind of a know-nothing and extremist and vulgar, and she's just not. What does she offer a swing voter? What does she offer his working Hispanic voter from West Texas? I don't see her as a natural statewide as a fit statewide.
Well, just so far she's not running, so we'll have to see. Anyway, you're listening to Real Clear Politics on Sirius XM. I'm Andrew Walworth. I'm here with Tom and Carl, who's back from Scotland. So we're happy he's here. Don't go away. We'll be back right after this.